last night at Madison Square Garden was awesome. And it became very close to not being awesome. We were very, very close to this day on Sports Talk Radio being about officials and being about Mikal Bridges, because you barely hear it mentioned when talking about last night's incredible double overtime victory by the New York Knicks over the Denver Nuggets. But Mikal Bridges' loose ball foul, which basically forced overtime, or second overtime, I can't even remember when it happened in the game, was so nuts and so stupid all at the same time. It's another reason why the Knicks feel different, because in years past, when a play like that happens, you then find a way to lose.
Right.
But credit to this New York Knicks team, despite Mikal Bridges having an all-time bad day, including an all-bad-time foul.
What are you talking about? He knocked down that corner three. That was amazing.
That was at the very end, but sure.
Right. It was kind of foregone at that point. But yeah, you're right. Look, this is why, as a Knicks fan, you start to feel like, yeah, we don't need Giannis. Yeah, we're good without Giannis. We can pull off victories like this against one of the better teams in the West. And we didn't have Giannis. We didn't even play our best game. And you found a way to win it. And so the narrative around the trade deadline, which is in 5 hours or so, is something that I think was exciting to think about and to talk about. But you said this from the very beginning, Evan, and you're right. If Giannis is on this team right now, I don't know if they win that game.
Well, it's just everything's so different.
But that's my point.
Yeah.
It just is Mikal Bridges being bad and then nailing a corner three-pointer, or Jalen Brunson now having to play in a different capacity, or missing the shot from KAT, meaning the range from KAT. Do you win that game without it? And Mitchell Robinson playing pretty stout defense on Jokic. Like, does that happen if Giannis is here instead of the current formation of this team? Probably not. So when you win the game like this, you start to convince yourself, we're good. We can compete with anybody.
And calm me down if I'm over-exaggerating, because I always do. Again, try to stress, it's 82 games. Mm-hmm. We can't make too much of win streaks and losing streaks. And I think a lot of us made a lot of the losing streak from 17 days ago. It wasn't that long ago, and vice versa now. Here's the one thing I will take out of last night that I feel very strongly in, which is that even though, at best, he plays 23 minutes a night, and even though they have to treat him with kid gloves by sitting him on back-to-backs, Mitchell Robinson does things on the floor that very few players in basketball do. Mm-hmm. Like, you look at a guy like OG Anunoby, you love him. Mikal Bridges on certain nights, you love him. Even Jalen Brunson. There are other guys like them. Mitchell Robinson, and I'm not saying he's better than all of them, but Mitchell Robinson, from the size, from the ability to guard a Jamal Murray on the perimeter and force a shot clock violation, to defending Jokic in the paint one-on-one and doing both brilliantly, how many guys in this sport can do that?
Right.
And the answer is not many.
Right.
And so the one thing I took away from last night's victory, more than anything else, because I already know Jalen Brunson's clutch. You don't have to tell me that. We all know.
Brunson flops a lot.
We also know that, too. We know that Karl-Anthony Towns has nights like last night. Like, he'll have great nights. He'll also have bad nights. The best part of KAT last night is the imagery of him being bloodied and then coming back in the game. Mm-hmm. It, adds to it beats the toughness kind of angle that people have on him that isn't true.
Right.
Right? Mikal Bridges has off nights. So all that stuff we've seen before. And we expect it. But Mitchell Robinson, what he did last night, I started to write it down because it was so ridiculous. Up to with less than a minute to go in regulation, he's defending the Joker one-on-one in the paint. And he didn't need any help.
Nope.
And Mitchell Robinson was with him every step of the way and forced Jokic into a bad shot.
Right. No matter where he went, he was with him.
Oh, my God. Like glue. Like peanut butter on jelly. Tie game with a minute to go. Now he's doing the exact opposite. He's defending Jamal Murray, who the Knicks couldn't stop in this game, on the perimeter, forcing him into a shot clock violation. Up 4 with 3 minutes to go. I forget who was driving. Brown drives into the paint, and Mitchell Robinson slaps it away. Or how about a tie game with about 3 seconds to go in the first overtime, and he's bouncing between Jokic and Jamal Murray, or him fighting through screens. Like, Mitchell Robinson, in the most insane way, put on a clinic last night.
Yeah, he did.
And he's the guy who I put my arms around if I'm a Knicks fan and say, Mitch, I need you.
Yeah.
You are the difference maker. You're the guy who could be the difference between us getting to an NBA Finals and not. And you know what? And for anyone who thinks that's crazy, let me ask you something. Game 6 against the Celtics last year, what do you think of from that game? besides Juan Soto returning to Yankee Stadium? You know what you think of? Mitchell Robinson's kick-ass defense. That's what you think of. You think of Mitchell Robinson.
I didn't actually.
You don't think of that?
But now that you say it, I do. But it's not what I think about.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just think
what
about
do you think of from that game? It was a blowout. They won by 80.
Yeah, the fact that it was a blowout.
Oh, just
exactly.
That it was just a non-game. Like, anticlimactic.
You don't think
and
of
I get it because Tatum was out already. But that's what I just like. I don't even think about it.
Yes, I think that it was a blowout, but I think of Mitchell Robinson going from the paint to the perimeter, back to the paint like a demon. He is so unique and so special. And so I'm not going to attach the craziness that he's like the best player in basketball. We all know that.
Well,
but he is so unique and valuable to this team that they need to protect him at all costs. And so when he sits on back-to-backs against crappy teams, last night is why. Because a guy with the ability to defend Joker in the paint and Jamal on the perimeter, the way he did last night, he's the reason they won last night. You give me all you want about Jalen Brunson. We know he's clutch. He's awesome. He's this, he's that. They won last night because Mitchell Robinson does things defensively that no one else can do.
No, you're right. And it's why when you look at this team, you say they can win. They can beat anybody. Because if Mitchell Robinson plays games like that, then the one thing that you worry about with the Knicks, which is their defense and sometimes their apathy towards it, there's one guy who's never going to be apathetic towards defense, and that's Mitchell Robinson.
Well, I think the other thing, and you mentioned apathy, that we also need to get through our heads, and I think today's a great day to do it, the day of the trade deadline. The Knicks have won 8 in a row. Knicks fans are giddy again, is I want to warn you about something, but it'll make you feel good too. I'm going to warn you that what they're doing right now isn't going to last for the rest of the regular season. And what I'm going to warn you about is there are going to be games, maybe against mediocre teams, maybe even it happens tomorrow night against Detroit, I have no idea, or Sunday against the Celtics, where they're going to play apathetic. They're going to play tired, and they're going to go through the motions because that's a long NBA season. And what we need to do from that is not panic, because this is the kind of the nature of a long NBA season. I think the Knicks have proven to us that they are a damn good team. They've proven to us that they are more than capable of getting to the NBA Finals. Are they perfect? Of course not. Should you still have worries about Karl-Anthony Towns in the playoffs? Yeah. I don't think a bloody game against the Nuggets should necessarily change that either. But what we need to be reminded of over the course of a long-ass regular season is that these highs and these lows, they don't actually define who you are.
No, they don't. But I think the highs are easy to draw upon as an example of what you can do. The lows, if you're smart, you just get rid of. Regular season lows, you get rid of.
Right.
We proved this last year with the Boston Celtics.
Meant nothing.
It meant absolutely nothing. What mattered was once you got into the postseason, how high could you get?
Right. And before this season started, so I'll put this on record because I did it before the season started. My NBA Finals prediction was what you saw last night, was the Knicks against the Nuggets. That was my prediction. You don't remember that? He doesn't care.
I mean, I think I remember. Who did I say?
I don't remember what you said. I'm telling you what I said. I said Knicks Nuggets.
Under? I think you went for a repeat.
Yeah,
I think I did go repeat, but I don't think exact repeat.
No, I think you went Thunder.
Somebody. Thunder go back to back. Right, yeah.
I went out on a limb that this is the year Denver gets back there. If I'm right, and we're sitting here in how many months? 5 months with a Nuggets-Knicks NBA Finals.
Wow, it's 5 months.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
What happened last night doesn't matter. It was a great, fun game that I think people are talking about at water coolers today because it was unique. It was double overtime. You had stars playing. You had aggressiveness. You had everything you would want in a kind of classic game at Madison Square Garden. But I'd be the first to tell you, and I think most of us deep down would realize this has no bearing on what happens in the NBA Finals.
No.
But it was a fun night, and it reminds you of what this Knicks team is capable of.
Well, it also gives you something in the middle of the season that makes you think or realize that basketball can be fun in the regular season.
Yes, it happens every once in a while.
It does every once in a while. However, if I was Sean Morash, I'm putting every dollar I have on the Detroit Pistons.
Yep.
Not even thinking twice about it.
Sean Morash will be doing that.
Double overtime game against the best, one of the best teams in the West, and you got it was a grind, man.
Yeah, but
we're going to win that and then put it on heads on the coin toss in the Super Bowl.
That's right.
First of all, here's why you're not being kind of fair about this.
Why?
The Pistons play tonight. The Knicks don't. So tomorrow night's game will feature Detroit on a back-to-back. Now, granted, the Pistons are playing the Wizards tonight.
Exactly. They're going to rest everybody.
The
G League team's going to be on the court the second half.
The other thing about last night and I'm going to be fully transparent about this, because I admit sometimes over the course of a game, whether it's a Yankee game, Met game, basketball game, I thought my team was going to lose, or I thought your team was going to win. Last night, when Mikal Bridges was called for a loose ball foul right under the basket as time was expiring. And 2 free throws were awarded and then hit and forced overtime. I said to myself, because everyone was sleeping, this is going to be a brutal loss. This is like a typical, painful New York Knicks loss. And I could already hear it in my head. I could hear it from all the shills, all the Knicks fan shills around here, Craig Horton, about, it was the officials. They can't call that.
Yeah, they can.
And so I pulled a clip that I was going to use to back up the officials because I thought the officials were going to be ridiculed for last night. And here is the clip. Do you trust Clyde Frazier?
Of course I do.
Hey, Sean.
He was classic last night.
Oh, wait, trust me. We got more of where this comes from. Do you trust Clyde Frazier, Sean?
Of course, with my life.
He was emotional last night.
He was. I want to play you a clip right after that loose ball foul was called on Mikal Bridges, and the Garden is apoplectic.
Apoplectic. There you go.
And everyone's throwing remotes at their TV, the officials. This is ridiculous. Here is what Clyde Frazier said about the play under the basket involving Mikal Bridges that eventually would lead to the Denver Nuggets tying the game.
See, Bridges mauling the guy right there.
Bang.
Mauling the guy.
That's Clyde Frazier.
Keeping it real.
He was keeping it real. Now, here's what I would tell you. I'm still stunned that they called it. Because even though there was a mauling, in the words of the great Clyde Frazier, I don't know, man.
Don't you as the official, all right, it's time to go.
That's a swallow the whistle moment.
Right. Yeah. That's like, man, what time was that? Was that dinner reservation? Man, we still make it to what time's the bar close? You called that? Oh, come on, bro.
I was very surprised they called it. I was saying it to a buddy of mine who's a Knicks fan who said, hey, dude, it was a foul.
Of course it was.
A part of the reason why he said that is that Mikal Bridges sucked last night. Until he hit that corner 3 in the second overtime.
Right.
Mikal was having like an all-time bad game. And so that was an easy pile-on effort on Mikal Bridges. But even I was admitting, yes, he mauled him. Clyde's right. But are we really calling that with a 1/10 of a second to go? But when those 2 free throws were hit, I thought, man, the Knicks are going to lose this game. And a credit to Jalen Brunson, obviously Mitch, who we just put over. They were able to respond. And I honestly think that's a really good sign about this basketball team, to have something like that happen. This egregious call in their minds. Look at Karl-Anthony Towns on the bench. He was walking over like he thought the game was over and then was stunned to realize, oh, my God, there's 2 free throws coming up. I think the Knicks, to their credit, as part of the story of last night, was the poise that they showed overcoming that call.
Yeah. I mean, Mikal Bridges, I don't even think I realized the stat line. No, I'm just looking at it right now.
He was awful last night.
He was awful.
And remember, that 3, the 1 3 he hit, one of 2 field goals he hit, occurred with, a minute to go in the second overtime?
Yeah.
Which is a credit to him. Like, it was a big shot.
Right, he was still dialed in, doing what he needed to do. But he was bad.
He was bad. But you know what? Other guys stepped up and they found a way to win. Now, you mentioned Clyde Frazier. You want more where that came from?
Of course I
Because I've said this many times, the man is a living legend. And if you heard the top of the show in the last 10 minutes, we just waxed poetic about Mitchell Robinson. And how can you not? The guy has been unbelievable defensively and makes such an impact when he's on the floor. Last night, he was called for a foul versus Nikola Jokic on the perimeter.
In double overtime.
I think with the Knicks up by 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So it was one of those like bad fouls.
Yeah, don't foul him.
And
at the perimeter. So, it's one thing if it's in the paint. This is at the perimeter.
And it's a bad foul. No one will dispute that. As much as I respect Mitch and the night he had last night, bad foul. What I didn't expect is that Clyde Frazier would go nuclear on Mitchell Robinson. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is the great Clyde Frazier calling out Mitch for a stupid foul in double overtime.
Jokic can't get away from Robinson.
Come on, Rob. Come on. Playing hard, but not smart.
Bit of a flail on the lower half from Jokic. Let's see.
You're 7 feet tall, man. All you got to do is be tall right here. Just be tall. Look at that. He leaves his feet. You can't fault the man. He's had a tremendous night tonight with his hustle work. This time, man, ill-advised foul sending Jokic to the line. The guy hasn't made one. Let him shoot it.
He just kept going.
Let him shoot it. Just be tall, man.
But there was another Clyde Frazier rip job that you may have missed from the other day that I have to play for you. This is the Wizards game.
Okay.
Okay.
I missed this one.
So the Knicks are up by 25 in the second quarter. Still relatively early in the game.
Right.
But they're up by 25, and OG Anunoby makes this hustle play out of bounds. Like he's falling out of bounds to save a loose ball. And Tyler Murray, who's really good, by the way, went out of his way to say, boy, you got to give OG credit. That's a great hustle play by OG Anunoby in a 25-point game in the second quarter. Clyde Frazier disagreed.
How about this hustle from Anunoby, by the way, in a game the Knicks are leading by 27?
It's foolish.
Well, the Washington Capitals play here as well. Alex Ovechkin and company see the boards.
Like I'm saying with Brunson, it's foolish, man. You can't get injured on something like that, man. You like the effort, playing hard, but definitely not smart at this point. Come on. Can't afford to lose you, bro.
You're not wrong.
That's foolish.
That's foolish, man.
Dude, he keeps it. I love when he keeps it real like that.
Oh,
it's one thing
best.
when he's just analyzing and he's talking about this, whatever, the game, whatever's going on. But when he just keeps it emotionally real, that's when he's at his best.
He's going to tell you what's on his mind.
No
That's
doubt.
for damn sure. And I think he added a lot to last night's victory.
Right.
Not only was it this classic matchup between, yes, potentially an NBA Finals preview, but you had Clyde making it bigger and better.